This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast with Mike Kinnett and Ryan Herbert of ProStatus Financial. Mike is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in taxation and 4-time Amazon best-selling author. Ryan is an 11-time 5-star Wealth Management Award winner and top-ranked financial advisor by Forbes. For decades, the ProStatus Financial team has been helping families build successful retirements and lasting legacies. Now, the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast.
Welcome into the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. Today, 5 reasons you need a tax advisor now more than ever and other places to put your money other than a bank. And we are going to talk about Jimmy Buffett and celebrate his life because it's meant so much to us in our lives through his music. Again, welcome in. Mike and Ryan are here to help you grow, keep, and distribute your wealth in the most tax-efficient manner possible. Ryan Herbert, it's great to see you. It's great to be with you. How are you this weekend?
You know, I'm doing wonderful. It was a great holiday weekend last week, so we got some much needed family time with my daughters and my wife. But, you know, now I'm looking forward to the official start of football. So, you know, that's going to take up my time between cheerleading for my one daughter and field hockey games for the other. Hopefully, I get to watch some of the Ravens play.
You know, and that's the thing. That's where we have to juggle things. The fall, things get a little bit more hectic for us. So that's one of the things that we need to juggle. But the thing that you guys really focus on is helping us retire, make better financial decisions through the power of taxation and helping us pay the least amount of taxes legally possible. So let's get into this. I saw a survey that asked what amount of money means that you are wealthy. The number came out to $2.2 million. But surprisingly, almost half the people who had a net worth of $550,000 considered themselves rich. In fact, financial advisors now are saying that their clients aren't interested in growing their wealth to $1.2 million, which I disagree with because I think everybody that you're going to talk to is going to say, I want more money. But they just want to know that they have enough to quit work and to spend time with their family and to do whatever they want to do. Do you see that as the case, or do you still think people want to grow that nest egg?
It's funny that you say that. And, you know, it's very rare. And if I go back and I think about it, I know there's been one person this year who's ever said to me, I want my investments to be worth X. And for him, it was $4 million. And he was at like 3.95 million. So, you know, the one little movement in the stock market the next day, he hit his $4 million number. He's like, all right, now I can retire. But, you know, in the reality of things for him and the reality of things for most people is that he had already had enough to retire on that extra $50,000 that he wanted to have really did nothing for his overall retirement. And, you know, when people sit down, like I said, it's never, I want to have this much money when I retire. It's always, like you said, it's, do I have enough? Can I retire when I want to with the lifestyle that I want to? And that's a number that is not $1 million, it's not $2 million, or in, you know, this gentleman's case, it was not $4 million,
Sure.
But, you know, it's appropriate to you, and it's whatever your desired lifestyle is in retirement. And people are always kind of not really even sure how to approach that number. And what Mike and I always say to our clients is, you know, think about how much you're spending a month right now while you're working. If it's $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 a month, whatever that number is, that's the number we should shoot for in retirement. And then we go about the process of trying to figure out what your income looks like for in retirement. Do you have a pension? Not many people have pensions nowadays, but if you're lucky enough to have a pension, that's one source of income. Pretty much everybody's going to have Social Security, aside from some of those old CSRS government workers under the old retirement system for them. And, you know, we figure out what that bogey is. What is the number that your investments need to create on a consistent basis every single month, whether the stock market's up 20% or it's down 20%? What is that number? And then it's basically just a math calculation that says this is how much money you need to have to retire and spend your $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 a month, whatever that number really is. And then everything else from that point on really just is extra money. And just last week, I was sitting down with a client, and he was 59 and she was 57. And he wanted to retire at 62. Between the two of them, they had about, I want to say it was a little bit more than $800,000 a year. And when Mike and myself and our team, we were sitting down with them and we're going through, here's what retirement looks like for you, we figured out that between Social Security and one of the small pensions that they were getting, they needed to have about another $2,000 a month. So of their $800,000 that they had set aside for retirement, they needed to use about $270,000 of it to create a secure, reliable income stream for them so that every single month, once they hit 62, it provides that $2,000 a month. So, that $800,000, we're using $270,000 of it. And then I explained to them that, listen, everything above this 270, it's all extra. Everything that you're saving between now and 62, these extra 2.5 years at this point, because he was 59, everything you're saving from here on out, that's all extra. That's the bucket list money. That's the buy the RV, buy the beach house, buy the boat, or, taking the grandkids to Disney or taking the kids on vacations every single year. That's all the extra money. And we can be as risky as we want to be with that money, or as we can be as conservative as you want to be with that money, because the overall goal of that money is really just the extras. The number one goal everybody has in retirement is to never run out of money. And using our income strategy plan, we created the income that they need. We used our income analyzer tool to figure out here's exactly how much it's going to cost for retirement. And if you want to find out more about what does retirement look like for me? Do I have enough money to retire? And how much of my nest egg that I've worked so hard to save, how much of that money do I actually need to use to generate my income in retirement? If you want to find out more about this, give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. And you sit down with Mike, myself, and a member of our team here at ProStatus, and we will walk you through your very own customized, comprehensive retirement plan, absolutely free. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
And it is a complete plan. And you can also go online to thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. And get started that way. You can click on the Income Analyzer button, also the 401k X-ray button. Each of those will get you to Mike and Ryan and get you started today as we're talking about this topic, creating income for retirement based on what we have now. And a lot of people may be thinking, I don't have enough. I don't know if I have enough. Or some people may be mistaken, Ryan, that they think, I think I'm going to be okay with this, but maybe not. And that's why you need that income analyzer and sit down with Mike and Ryan and the team at ProStatus to find out for sure if you're ready for retirement. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Don't forget a second opinion. If you have a current plan now and you want to get a second opinion on that, you can do that as well. 866-597-1040 for the next few callers. That is going to be complimentary, no obligation to sit down with them and get that started today. And also online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com.
We're all growing older together. I mean, I thought it for a while when I'm sitting up on the stage and look out at an audience. And my crowds have remained faithful. They still come out to see us all the time. And I think they always will because they're that way. And we're all changing together, and I seem to reflect their feelings because I'm one of them. I just got out and got to do the things they all wish they could. The only way I can share it with them is in songs, and let them go put their Hawaiian shirts on and come out and see us, and let them forget their problems for 2 hours.
Forget your problems for 2 hours. That's Jimmy Buffett reflecting on the career, just an unforgettable career. And of course, we lost him at 76 years old. Ironically enough, on Labor Day weekend, as he so eloquently sings it in come Monday. That was during an interview back in 1982. So Ryan, let's talk Jimmy Buffett, man. I mean, I know he's touched, God, who hasn't he touched? Do you have a favorite Jimmy Buffett song?
I don't really think, if I was going to pick one, I would say probably Cheeseburger in Paradise. Mm-hmm. That'd be my song. Mm-hmm. It was a little bit special to my wife and I. It was kind of the first concert that we ever went to together when we were pretty early on dating. So she was going back through photos, and you can see how young and skinny and how much more hair I had in those at that time. But he was just a great performer. He lived the lifestyle that everybody loved. a waterman. He loved everything.
Yeah.
And, since he passed away, as social media does, everybody posts, their tributes to him.
Yeah.
It brought up this clip that I had completely forgotten about. I think I saw it on Instagram somewhere, but it was a clip from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And it's a very crude show, I would say that. But they're all sitting around the bar and they're getting ready to go to the Jimmy Buffett concert. They've got on their parrot hats and their Hawaiian shirts. Mm-hmm. And one after one, there's four of them. One of them's tending bar. One after one, they're all walking into the bar and they're singing, if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, the song Escape. And they say, man, I really hope he plays this song. It's one of his hits. And the other guy goes, yeah, that would be great if he played that song, but that's not his song. So there's a reason you've never heard it, because it's not his song. And that it really made me, I was like, wait a minute, that's not his song? I had to sit down and actually go back and Google who actually wrote that song.
Yeah.
But, great musician.
That's Rupert Holmes.
Yeah. Great musician, lots of hits, and, really, kind of idolize that beach lifestyle, that carefree lifestyle that everybody wants to have when they hit retirement.
Let's talk about that, because Jimmy Buffett, his net worth was at $1 billion. And that's an incredible, well-deserved man. I mean, he touched so many people's lives. But let's talk about that, because he lived the lifestyle that we all want to live. When you guys are putting retirement plans together, you guys have to find out what people want to do, right? I mean, you got to say, hey, do you want to live on the beach? Do you want to live up north? What do you want to do here?
Yeah, I think that's what takes most people aback when you come in for the first time and you sit down with Mike and myself. Most times when you sit down with financial advisors, they get right into, I'll call it the sales pitch. They ask about, look at my rates of return, or what do you think of good rates of return? Look how good I've done. This is why you should pick me, type of thing. Whereas Mike and I, the approach it's much different. It's not just about the numbers. It is about the relationship, because it is a marriage. We want you to be part of the family, part of the ProStatus family for years and years to come. And so the first meeting in my mind is really getting to know, who you are, what you want from life, and what you think retirement should look like for you. Because like I said, we have clients that are with us for years and years and years. And I like to joke, we do our advertisements. Mike and I always have suits on. People come in the office and they're often relieved to see that Mike and I are not wearing formal clothes. And I say, well, the only time you're ever going to see me wearing a suit, and you're not even going to see me because it's going to be at your funeral. That's the only time I'm going to wear it. But, my point with that is that, our goal is for you to be clients for life. So we're not just taking care of you, we're taking care of your spouse. And then when you pass away and ultimately everything goes to the kids, we want to make sure that the kids are taken care of, that they're not going to make any rash decisions to kind of undo all this planning that we've done, not going to take any unnecessary tax hits, and make sure it's a simple and smooth transition for them. Because you want someone to take care of you like family, your spouse like family, and your kids like family. And that is the approach that Mike and I and our team take here.
I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to see Mike Kinnett in shorts.
Yeah. He was the last time I walked in on Friday. He was here. He just flown back from Florida. I walked in and he was sitting at his office in shorts and flip-flops. So he'll put on pants if you come in to see us.
That's the Jimmy Buffett lifestyle. No, man, that's what we want. All right, but we got to get there first. We got to get to retirement first, and a lot of us are trying to save as much as possible. So I ran across this, and I want to run this by you. Just give me a yay or nay here when I run a list of this, but it's where to put your money. There's a lot of people with cash right now that don't want to put it in the market. Some banks are offering CDs and money market rates of up to, in the range of 5%. But what is the best place for cash right now? I want to get your opinion on this. Again, yay or nay, money market, mutual funds.
Well, you said that dirty word. You said the word
mutual funds.
Well, so money market mutual funds aren't terrible, because what I don't like about mutual funds is all the hidden fees and the tax consequences that go along with it. But money market mutual funds, they're essentially just checking accounts, actually. Your checking account at your bank or your normal savings account at your bank is going to pay you 0.0 something. That is what you're going to get with those money market mutual funds. There's no money market mutual funds out there that I'm aware of right now that pay anything more than that. So having your money in something like that, is certainly not going to keep up with inflation. And it doesn't even cover the taxes that you're going to pay. So having money in those money market mutual funds really just is kind of going broke safely.
All right, so thumbs down on the money market mutual funds, treasuries.
So short-term treasuries, T-bills, as they're called, right now I think are a fine place for the next 3 to 6 months, because that's kind of where you can get 5.3, 5.4% interest on your money. And you got to remember, it's for a year. So if you're getting a 5.2% rate and you bought a 3-month treasury bill, well, after 3 months, you're getting 3 months of 5.2. You're not getting 5.2. So you take that 5.2 and you divide it by 4, and that's what you end up getting. But, those are fine positions to own right now. If you have money that's just sitting in the bank, it certainly is an alternative for some of your money. You don't want to put all your money into something like that because you're tying it up for 3 or 6 months. But you want to pay attention, because as soon as the interest rates start to fall, the interest rates on those T-bills are going to start to come down. So it's fine for the short term, but not very much for the long term.
All right, so I'm going to put a thumbs up on that with the caveat of you got to pay attention to it.
Yep.
Short-term bond funds.
Bond funds have been not the best place to have your money for the last 2 to 3 years. And it suffers from the rise in interest rates. Most people think that, in my well-diversified portfolio, I can buy this bond ETF or this bond mutual fund that owns these individual bonds, and stock market goes up, I might make 2 to 3%. Stock market drops, I'm not supposed to lose anything because bonds are safe, or that's the impression that we've had on bonds for the last 30 or 40 years. But in reality, as interest rates go up, the prices of bonds fall. And it's something that we saw, as soon as they started raising interest rates in the beginning of 2022, where bonds, that safe money, were down 18%. The overall stock market was down 22%. So, that really wasn't the safe place to be. So for right now, as long as the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates and continuing to push them higher, bond funds are not the place to be with that money you have just sitting on the sidelines.
Okay, so we're going to go thumbs down on that one?
Yep.
Okay, going over some better options for you to put your money. By the way, 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. If you have a question about this, you want to get your retirement plan looked at and figure out your situation, you can call Mike and Ryan and get started today with that complimentary retirement plan, and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Two left. Structured notes. Is that a better place than a bank?
Structured notes are something out there that is certainly better than a bank, or could potentially be better than a bank. And if you think about it, much the way an index annuity work, where it says, here's where the stock market is today, and here's where it is a year from now. If the stock market's up, they give you some participation in the upside of the market. They give you the certain upside of the market to a certain percent. Okay. Or they just say, the more recent ones that I've seen, the stock market is positive, and it could be the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, whatever it is. If it's positive even 1% over the next year, we'll give you 7.5% on your money. Conversely, if the stock market is down 10%, you don't lose anything. So while it can be better than having your money in the bank, it really depends on where you feel the stock market's going to go. If you think the stock market's going to drop over the next year, well, maybe having something with a guaranteed interest rates that's paying you 4 or 5%, maybe even 5.5%, might be a better place to be in those structured notes. But if you think the stock market's going to go up, you can certainly make money in those, and you make more money than you would in a savings account. So it's kind of a balancing act. I think that what you do is you kind of split it between treasuries, some other alternatives, and these notes to give you some guaranteed money, some guaranteed interest, but yet still have access to that upside of the market. So for those structured notes, that's kind of like that, yes, no, maybe.
Okay, so thumbs up, but you got to watch it.
Yeah, thumbs up, but you got to watch it. Make sure it's appropriate for you.
Okay, guarantees. We all love guarantees. MIGA, what is that, and is that what do we need to know there?
So MIGA, it's a newer acronym, but multi-year guaranteed annuity. Essentially what you're buying is a fixed annuity. A fixed annuity functions pretty similar to a CD, except it's not FDIC insured. It says that you're putting your money away for 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years, and they're going to pay you some type of guaranteed interest rate over that time frame. Those are fine investments to be in as long as you're not going to need access to the money in that time frame. Because if you need, just like with a CD, if you blow that CD up early, they charge you a penalty. With one of these annuities, same thing. You break into it early, you blow it up, and you don't get those interests. You might even be penalized from that aspect.
So what do we want to go with, Mike? A thumbs up, thumbs down?
Once again, thumbs up, but with that caveat. They can be great tools, but make sure it works for your time horizon.
And the caveat there is no matter what you do, there's going to be ups and downs, positives and negatives, pros and cons. That's why you need a team around you, with you, in your corner, at your side, like ProStatus, like Mike Kinnett, like Ryan Herbert, and their team at ProStatus. Ryan, when people come to see you guys are going to go through all of this, explain the ups and downs. You guys are going to give them a written plan for retirement, and all of that gets started by calling you right now at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. And what do you guys normally do here as we normally open it up to our listeners and our viewers? That way they can come and sit down with you and Mike personally and get this started.
Yep, it's absolutely complimentary. You come down, you sit down with Mike, myself, and our team, and we will put together your very own comprehensive retirement plan, customized just for you. But it all starts by giving us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. We're going to talk about the income that you want to have in retirement. We're going to talk about the risks you're taking, the fees you're paying. We're going to show you ways to reduce your taxes. We're going to talk about Roth conversion, estate planning, life insurance, long-term care, all those aspects of a financial plan all in one place. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
We'll give you some time to call in and set that appointment. You can do that right now. Get started today, 866-597-1040, and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. And if you want to take Mike and Ryan wherever you go, you can do that also with their podcast, the Savvy Investor Podcast. Like it, follow it, and keep doing that with the Savvy Investor Podcast wherever it is that you go, as well as YouTube. We're getting the YouTube channel started as well. So lots of ways to stay with Mike and Ryan and the team at ProStatus Financial. But we got to wrap things up for this week. Mr. Herbert, Ryan Herbert, as always, you get the final word, but we got some birthdays, some very special ProStatus birthdays first.
September is a very popular month for birthdays. We have a lot of clients celebrating their birthday this month, but I wanted to give a very special happy birthday to Bob, Bruce, Mary Sue, and Joan. Joan is one of my longest tenure clients I've had for, going on 20 years now at this point. So happy birthday to all our ProStatus clients. And if you're celebrating a birthday this month, happy birthday to you from Mike, Ryan, myself, and the team here at ProStatus. Thank you so much for listening to Savvy Investor Radio and podcast. This is Ryan Herbert. We'll see you, the Savvy Investor, next week.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.